Let's get more now on Barack Obama's final press conference and Donald Trump's upcoming inauguration. We're joined now by Professor of Political Science, Peter Mathews, who's in Long Beach in California. He's also author of the book Dollar Democracy. Thanks so much for speaking to us, Peter. And what did you make of President Obama's last press conference as president? It was almost like he was trying to reassure America that everything was going to be okay.
Yes, indeed, because many Americans are concerned that there'll be a smooth transition, that there should be one. And yet we have probably the conditions set for the most difficult transition in modern history, with Donald Trump and the Republican Congress sweeping the whole government. They can actually overturn a lot of what President Obama had brought in and his legacy, such as Obamacare. And he also Obama's been talking about the need to reconcile, to have racial reconciliation, racial equality and economic equality, and also the common values, democratic values, where people in a democracy can respect each other regardless of what their ideological position or their issue positions are. A civil discourse, and he says that's been lacking in America since his term of office, since he was in his term of office, the last term of office, especially his last term of office. And that's a real problem for a democracy, to not be able to have people a common denominator for discussion, common language for discussion. So he talked about those thematic conditions so much, more or less than the specifics. And with some nostalgia about wish he had more time, in a sense, to set things a little bit more straight and correct. I think he was longing for that, but he can't have it. It's over after, tomorrow? And then Friday, we have a new president, actually. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
It is over, and he gave some insight into his plans for the future. Nothing specific, but he certainly gave signs that he wasn't going to be a former president who went into the background, who's no longer in the public eye.
That's right. He's definitely going to be active in the sense that he wants to make sure that America's ship of state continues on a track that'll be feasible, that'll work, and keep the country moving, even if it's in a little bit different direction. He's not going to go away. He's going to make comments, especially depending on what President-elect or President Trump actually does in some of the more, measures that seem to be quite a bit different than Obama's. For example, Trump's promise to build a wall between the U.S. and Mexico and take harsh actions against undocumented workers, although Trump has softened that a bit, saying just those who've committed crimes will be deported right away. But there's a lot of concern about other people who are here, undocumented, but have been here and paying taxes, and children born here, or parents born somewhere else, but brought by their parents here. Much uncertainty, and President Obama said, "Don't worry, I'm going to still be here, but President Trump is the president, but I will not go away from the picture. I'm going to make sure America continues to do well." I think that's a pretty balanced and nuanced approach.
OK, well, let's take a focus now, take a look at Donald Trump's inauguration taking place in just over a day's time. What do you think of the Democrats, the leading Democrats, who are going to be boycotting that? It looks like it's escalating. More than 50 House Democrats say they're not going to attend and watch him being sworn in. Do you think Donald Trump could be somebody who could unite America?
I think it's closer to 60 Democrats, and I think that it's very important that people in America, Democrat or Republican, or whatever party you are, see that the election was legitimate, that Donald Trump won the election through the Electoral College vote, despite the fact that he lost the popular vote by almost 3 million votes, but he won with the rules. And we don't know what has happened with the alleged Russian hacking. I think there has to be a lot more evidence put forth, hard evidence, before people are convinced that Russia has interfered and actually caused the election to go one way or the other. We don't know. That's all hypothetical still. And therefore, Americans should take a deep breath and say, this man who was elected, it's time to give him a chance to do what he wants to do, except we, the people, can still influence the direction of his policies. We ought to fight Donald Trump if we disagree with him on policy, not on legitimacy. And America has this tradition since George Washington of a smooth transition of power after two terms of office. And that became in our Constitution, was put in our Constitution after President Roosevelt won 4 terms. Now the president, after 2 terms, must leave the office and give it to a new president and recognize the new president as legitimate. This is a very important question for democracy and stability, and we don't want to destabilize this country, especially in relation to other countries, if the rest of the world or some of the world thinks that not everyone here accepts this president as legitimate. So let's give him a chance to get in office and to push forth the plans that he has, but we should influence his plans in the correct direction. As Bernie Sanders once said, we will support Donald Trump when he's on the right side of the issue, on the proper side of the issue. When he's not, we're going to have the loyal opposition will oppose him. That's how I think would be the much better approach than boycotting the actual inauguration, in my view. I can understand why they want to. They're furious in many ways, but I think they should really go to the inauguration if they can.
Yeah, I think Donald Trump might agree with you there. And Peter Mathews, thanks so much.